everyone? This is a Popcorn Heroes review of Insecure, an HBO series. What's going on? I am Armando. With me is God's Gift, Orlando.
Yo, yo.
What's going on, dude? How's everything?
Good, man. Quarantine life. What can I say?
Surviving the Rona, I see.
Surviving, I guess.
Yeah, because you be going out a lot, so you are practically surviving the Rona.
I mean, I'm not going out. I go to my grandma's house and I just do groceries.
There you go, man. You're going out a lot.
I guess.
All right, Orlando, since we never ever talked about Insecure in our podcast, let's start off with what the show's about and then get into what we think about the show, how we've liked it, season 1 through 3 so far, and then we get into the latest season that started yesterday, season 4, and we'll talk about episode 1. But this is not a spoiler-free review. This is a spoiler-filled review. We're going to be talking about the entire story, everything that's happened.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it. We're not going to be shy. We're not going to be like pausing for anything. We're just going to get into it. And if you've seen it, awesome. And if you haven't, listen to us and see if you enjoy the conversation we're having. And then you should go watch it on your own if you like what we hear. So,
Yeah.
Orlando, tell us about the story, buddy.
So, Insecure basically takes place in LA, Inglewood, LA, and it follows essentially a couple, and basically their relationships and their turmoils and their ups and downs, and just basically it's just a story of relationships, a story of
Personal struggle.
It's one of those there's a term I'm looking for where a character starts at one place, ends at
Growth?
another place.
Character
Yeah, but
development.
No, there's a word I'm thinking about. It's one of those like we talk
Character
about
arc?
in movies. Like in movies, there is
The character arc?
I don't know. I'm not sure what word I'm thinking of, but it's basically a story of like personal growth, relationships, and you just follow these two people lives essentially as they try to grow. It's honestly just a great show overall, and I think it's one of the best shows on TV right now.
Yeah,
Even though
I would agree with that.
Even though the plot could be as pretty simple, it just feels organic, especially.
But I don't. That's the thing I don't mind about the show. If it's simple, like I like simplicity, because there's complications within everybody's life. But in general, people's lives are simple. They're just straightforward. You have the complications of relationships, the complications of friendships, the complications of work, and that's everybody's life. So that's what complicates our lives. But everything else is just you living it. And it's kind of straightforward, except for those bits and pieces that kind of affect us,
Yeah.
So the simplicity, I don't mind it. And I hate the drama for the sake of drama, which this show, I don't think has done that. I don't think that show has forced drama down your throat. I think all the drama beats have been very, how can I say, have organically like developed within the story itself. Like it's never been like, hey,
Yeah.
you're cheating on me. Oh no, then I don't know, some other shit happened, and then drama for the sake of drama happens, and I'm just like that. I don't think that's happened in this show.
So I agree with you. Like the drama that does occur in the show occur because of a character's personality type or of their archetype as a character. So drama ensues because a person is this way. So yeah, but it's not as if like, for example, I think when me and Mike were talking about it during our shows the decade, because me and Mike had it on our list. It's a predominantly black show. I mean, that's for sure. And when I think about current black shows like Insecure, Atlanta, Blackish, Grownish, one of the things that Blackish does is that, and so does Grownish, but it's say the same creator, they have like kind of like problem of the week or like social issue of the week.
Yeah,
And there's nothing wrong with that if you want to like do that, especially like
but that's
it's
network
very
TV.
yeah, it's very network TV. It's very 90s like this, like oh no, I got caught robbing the store. Like oh, you shouldn't do that or something, or I got oh no, I was sleeping in class. I got an F, and like, oh, you should pay attention to school. Like, those kind of shows have a very like situation or drama of the week, and this it's not that at all. It's literally just you're
It's like
watching
Atlanta. Atlanta's not like that either. Atlanta's very just a story
right,
itself.
but Atlanta's also all over the place though. Atlanta's very like non-linear, like sometimes stories plot lines begin and then they just stop there or they continue in other stories. Atlanta's just all over the place. Atlanta's very unique, but this is just a very linear narrative of these two people, and essentially like their lives. So it's very straightforward. But like you said, there's no drama that's being forced. The drama ensues because of that's just how the character is. Not like drama for the sake of drama.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's get into at least let's just jump into
the
spoilers.
characters.
Yeah, get to those characters. Obviously, Issa.
So let's start off with that. Yeah, talk about Issa. Do you like her?
Yeah. I mean, so obviously this show has season 1 spawned a huge debate. Issa, Team Lawrence, debate, and
I'm Team Lawrence all the way, man.
So I mean, it's funny because like anyone who's been in a long-term relationship can understand the characters, So like, I get Issa's dilemma in the first season. I get Lauren's dilemma in the first season. Like, I've been a Lawrence, I've been a Issa, I've been all the characters, so I can understand each person's I guess where their heads at in season 1. But I do like Issa in terms of like her quirkiness. Like she's a very like charismatic yet quirky yet sometimes weird kind of person. She comes off like socially awkward, and I think it stems from like just her as a person, at the way she is, and also just stems from like her web series that she had. I think it was like Adventures of Socially Awkward Black Girl. I think I forgot what it's called. Let me look it up. But yeah, so I think it just stems from like that. So her character is pretty similar.
Yeah.
And so I just like her quirkiness. I like that about her. I like that she is just like she's not she is she's definitely not a stereotypical character in the show. Like, I think most of the characters on the show are not really stereotypical. I think most characters that are predominantly in the show have layers to them, and they shine throughout. Like, which is nice because some shows are they're just they just have a stereotype.
Yeah.
So I really do enjoy her. And the series I was talking about, the web series called Awkward Black Girl. So she still plays that kind of character in Insecure. Then there's Lawrence, who is her boyfriend in season 1, and I like him as well. Like, I understand him in the beginning of like down the dumps kind of vibe he gives off. Like not working, not being very highly motivated, not bumming it up, not being very motivated. And then I do like his transition to fuckboy Lawrence to successful Lawrence to driven Lawrence. So I love that. I love that character so much because he is like it's kind of like he never was like, he always had potential as a person when you first see him in season 1, and that like he's a good guy, that like he's a very like affectionate, loving boyfriend. But he just fucked up. Like he had his fuck ups. Issa had her fuck ups. So like, there's so many ways that like you can be a good person or a solid partner and still mess up in in relationships. So like even though he was a good guy, like he had his flaws as well. So I like how they developed that character very much.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Lawrence though. Like Lawrence has always been, um, I've enjoyed his entire his entire story arc from the beginning to where he is now. Um, and I've always been on the side of more of Lawrence because for me I don't really enjoy Issa. Um, I think she falls into that same trap of like the majority of like main characters. You know, How I Met Your Mother, how Ted was kind of boring and he was just this basic guy. I think everybody else was more enjoyable than him. And I think Issa's on that for me too. That like I find everybody else more enjoying or more more complex, more interesting than Issa. I think Issa is just I don't know. I just I don't really enjoy her. Her as a character, but I do like everybody else. Like Molly. Like I enjoy Molly because she's that successful person. She does all these things, but she's a total bitch at times. But she could be a great friend, and she could be supportive. And I mean, but like she has layers to her. You get what I'm saying? And I feel Issa doesn't have that many layers. She's either, like you said, she's just either that quirky character, and then she's just blah. She's just there. I think like a lot of the characters in the show have more layers than her, and Molly and Lawrence have more layers to her. Even her boyfriend, the second boyfriend that she had, the music producer guy, I think he had more layers than Issa too. And he was a more complex guy than she was. So I think I enjoy those characters more for their complexity and how different things they have. And I think Issa's just so straightforward and bland that I don't enjoy her as a character.
Well, I mean, as you said, like that's a problem with main characters. Maybe there has to be something about that. Maybe like in terms of like writing philosophy, where like maybe the character is like a neutral character, so like everything else pops. So then you're more invested into that world or that universe. Same thing goes for Seinfeld. Seinfeld, he is literally like the most like
Yeah, he's boring.
Seinfeld's one of my favorite shows, and all he does is date people and do comedy. That's it. That's his whole gimmick. But George goes from job to job. He goes from living at home to living at his mom to living back at home.
Yeah.
Kramer is a whole nut job. So like and then when you look at other shows like Friends, like Ross is very boring. He's a archaeologist. That's it. And then everyone else is wild. Like you don't know Chandler's job really. Joey's an actor and a playboy. Monica is frantic. She cooks, and Chandler's like the funny businessman.
Yeah.
Maybe that is. And then when you look at Friends, it's also Ross and Rachel because those are the two main people. She's also boring.
Yeah.
So it could be one of those things where like if you have a main character that maybe is so multi-layered or so like the show I was thinking about maybe that where like I think every character like shines. I think like Always Sunny. They're all douchebags. They're all funny. Dennis is probably like the most like neutral, boring one. But that's saying, but he's also very crazy and wild. That whole show's wild.
Yeah.
But as of like crazy antics, Dennis is the main character, and he probably is the most boring one. So
Yeah.
I think there has to be like a writing philosophy. But
you wouldn't say about like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, I felt every character was interesting.
But Game of Thrones doesn't really have a main character. Game of Thrones, its main character maybe is Tyrion. That's it.
The main
like,
characters were the people like the Starks and Tyrion and Jaime. Jon Snow. Jon Snow's he's probably the most boring character in the show. Jon Snow.
But it has to be like, see, because you named so many people as main characters. Who is the main character though of Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones doesn't really. Game of Thrones fools you so many times of like you're following this character. Oh wait, that's not the main character. He died.
Mm-hmm.
So like Game of Thrones, at the end you realize that Tyrion is the main character. But for Game of Thrones, you spend so many seasons like following other people and rooting for other people that you lose focus of Tyrion, even though like he's a big plot whole show. And the thing is
Yeah.
with Tyrion, especially Game of Thrones, he never has like leverage. He's just trying to survive. So you're looking at when you look at Game of Thrones, you look at the fucking people that can move mountains. You're looking at like the leaders and shit. You're looking at
Mm-hmm.
the people that like can do shit. Tyrion could never have done shit. You just in Game of Thrones, you're waiting for Tyrion to die. Essentially, because he's always the odd man out.
All right, so let's bring it back to Atlanta. Do you think Donald Glover's character is boring? I don't think he is. I think there's a lot of layers to him that even to this day you still don't know about it. You still don't know about him. Like,
But Atlanta doesn't follow traditional storytelling procedure though.
because
Atlanta's
the main character is essentially Donald Glover and Paperboy. So, but the focus is on Donald Glover. He is the quote unquote main character of the show because the show is quote unquote about him. And I don't find him to be a boring character. I just think that cast and that story in general is just very interesting.
right.
And all the characters have layers to them.
Atlanta is his own beast in terms of storytelling, though. That's it's just how it goes because like Atlanta's different. Atlanta's not it's not a linear story. It doesn't. One episode is self-contained. Another episode could be about something else. Like, and obviously we have shows that do that, but when you start caring about a show and it's character dynamics, there's normally a story, a well put together story tied to it. Atlanta doesn't. Atlanta does have a well put together story, but it is all over the place. So you mostly remember Atlanta for like its like set pieces in terms of like storytelling or like not set pieces, but like oh this episode is so good because of X, Y, and Z, or this crazy thing happens in this episode. So that's why you remember Atlanta. You know, like you don't. Atlanta's good for. You don't remember Atlanta for its character development because there isn't.
Yeah.
Really isn't. There really isn't much. So Atlanta's its
Okay.
own like beast.
Yeah.
But
So let's bring
but
it back
yeah.
to the show then. So how?
Yeah.
So, do you like what has happened so far in all the seasons, as in the terms of, Lawrence and Issa breaking up, to how their lives kind of went separate from there?
Yeah, so essentially, yeah, they broke up in season 1. Issa cheated on Lawrence because he was pretty much a deadbeat. He finds out, he leaves. Then
I think that's where the story actually started for me.
Do you think they're gonna get back together?
No, and I hope they don't. I
Right,
honestly
because
feel that I hope that he actually stays with the girl he's with now. As we're gonna talk about, I have a question for you about that dynamic that's happening right now, and I think
Yeah.
you know where I'm going with it. But so let's go through that. So they go through separate ways, right? And for me, I feel that's where the story actually really starts, because that's when everybody's lives kind of takes a jump start,
Yeah, I mean, it kind of forces both of them to get their shit together. Issa was very critical of Lawrence's time of like, he was going through his shit where like nothing was working in terms of him being a developer, and he was kind of like fell like down the dumps. Like even though he wasn't like quote unquote depressed, like he never really said it. He just had like lost drive, and you could totally see that. And I would say like his breakup was the catalyst that kind of like catapulted him to like start his shit. Like, he started working out. He became super ripped, super like like fucking like now Lawrence is like he had like a mini gut in the beginning of the first season. At the end, he like lost it and he just became like this tremendo like beast in terms of like looking wise. And so I think like that made him focus more on like, okay, what do I have to do to be better, or like now I don't have this person to rely on. I need to like get my shit together. So that always pushed him. So I think that was good for him. In terms of Issa, I feel like it kind of grounded her. Like, she really.
Because I guess she felt herself superior to him because she had a job, she had things quote unquote figured out,
I
And
wouldn't
then
say
I think
she.
after the breakup, she went into that spiral that he was in essentially.
I don't think she thought she was superior to him. It never gave like their dynamic was never like that. Like she never like you know she never like showboated or like put that over him. It was kind of like you're not only slipping in terms of like what you want to do, but you're slipping in this relationship. Like it was like her birthday. This dude, he forgot entirely, like to like celebrate her birthday and shit like that. Like he was slipping on like relationship like duties, and not saying duties, but like what you expect a partner to do. And he was also slipping in terms of like progression in his personal life and their own. So, but I don't think she ever like hold it against him or anything. She was very supportive. Season one, she was like, she was, essentially paying for this dude to just sleep on the couch, like just chill, So I never got that vibe of like I'm better than you kind of vibe. She never did that. But at the end of the day, like she did, I guess, like not judge him for it, but did like say like, hey man, like you gotta like level up, you gotta get your, you gotta be on my level or get not get be on my level, but get your shit together. Like I know
Yeah.
you're going through some stuff, but you gotta like
Put
get
some
on
effort.
this, put some effort. That's a good word. And you quickly see how after the breakup, like she didn't have it together, like she wasn't ready. She wasn't quick to judge him on the fact that he didn't have it together because she did support him. I mean, there were so many other factors that ended their relationship. Like it was like the fact that he wasn't attentive to her either. Like I think that was possibly like the main catalyst. Not that he wasn't like working in his field. I think it was that like, yo, you're slipping and you're not acting like my man, basically. I think that was the reason like that kind of ended. Because like we look at Daniel. Daniel was a DJ. Daniel
Yeah.
was just like Daniel was. I mean, granted, he like had his shit together in terms of like he's a producer and he's making beats and like people know him. Like he could, he's not doing too bad, but he's not also doing like phenomenally well. But what did he do differently that Lawrence did? He gave her attention. Like he was like, yo, let me take you out. Hey, let's go out. Let's have a good time. That was a game changer. It wasn't like she fell for a dude who like had it all together. So but what you realize in their breakup is that like even though like that was the main reason, she also had like a poor credit score. She when they broke up, she had to move out because rent got more expensive. She moved in with Daniel. Like she wasn't like I said, like I think it was more about the lack of effort he was putting into the relationship than like money or finances.
Yeah.
That was the reason. That was the reason why they broke up.
So it was essentially just a relationship strain that was happening, and that's why
Right.
she cheated on Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, it's funny because like once they break up, you realize that like, oh shit, Issa doesn't have her shit together. She's not happy in her career. Um, she has to like live with somebody else that she's probably not, who she probably doesn't want to live with. So she has to make these sacrifices. In terms of Lawrence, he realizes like, oh shit, they're kind of in the same boat, especially they're in the same boat in terms of like where they're both looking to progress.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's taking Issa a longer time to get there. Where
I wouldn't say
Lawrence,
that because you think about it, you don't know how long Lawrence was in the rut. Because when we meet him in the show, they already been dating for such a long time that I think they mention it that you have been bumming it up for X amount of time. So I think it's just time for Issa's is on the same track essentially. Let's say what, a year or two that he was in the rut. And I feel that at this point, Issa's on that same boat. It's been already a year or two that they've been on the rut, that she's been on personally on the rut, and finally she's probably turning around at this moment in time in the show where she's kind of figuring out her life or what she wants to do, but she's still not there yet. And I think that's where Lawrence was at the point where we meet him in the show, where he was kind of like, I'm almost there, but not right. And then that breakup kind of just triggered that switch of like, yes, I need to change. I need to do better. I need to be different. I need to actually focus on my stuff and get my life on track. So that breakup was the catalyst for his life to get better, and I think it was a catalyst for her to finally realize that, oh shit, I don't have everything figured out. I don't know what I want to do. She spiraled downwards, essentially, after that breakup. So
Yeah. Um.
so how do you feel
Yeah.
about Molly?
Um. I like Molly. I just think that she can be. The thing is like with Molly, she essentially has it. She's essentially a very put together person. Like, she is highly successful, super driven lawyer, and for everything she does right, she does I guess when it comes to dating, she does wrong. Um, I think she's overly critical of the people she dates. I think she's very judgmental of the people she dates. She's not like, and it's not really, not that she has a block of like turned like a wall that she puts up, but she is very guarded and when she's dating, so that has caused problems for her. Um, you know, I I don't agree with everything she does. Um, but I do. I don't know. I don't know what I would want for her, honestly, at this point. Like, as a
Me
character,
neither.
like, because like I just feel like I don't know what I don't like. I don't know what she's looking for as a character. I don't know what she wants as a dating wise, and I don't know like how to like fix it. Like, I mean, that's not my job, but like
I
this.
don't necessarily think it's a thing of like fixing, or it's just she needs to figure out why she's being so critical, because she's not perfect herself, right? So it's one of those things where what does she feel that she needs and wants for her to actually get like settled down with somebody? Because she's just she finds an excuse for everything, right? Essentially, anything that happens, she finds an excuse for it. So what does she really want? What is she looking for? And what's going on within her that stops her from reaching that next level? Because she usually hits a certain point with a relationship where she plateaus, and then she's like is about to hit to the next step, and she's like, and she finds something wrong, and like, oh nope, I don't like you. Oh, you what was the one that the guy she was dating made out with another guy or something like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and she said, well, I'm not gonna date you because you kicked another guy. So it's kind of like, what do you want, you know? And right now, this in the current season, she's dating this person that she really likes, but they've never established their relationship. They're just at this point they're just still dating, you know. And he's, you know, going on dates with other girls too, and she found that very offensive. So I feel if you really like this person, I think it's the moment where you essentially establish those rules. If I like you, like, hey, I think we should go exclusive, and that will kind of end what she doesn't want. But she never established any like, I want this to be more than what we are, you know.
yeah. I mean, as a character, we don't know why she's so guarded and why she is so like quick to turn off like the switch in terms of relationship. Um, you're right, because like I mean, she did date Joe in season one, I believe, and a little bit in two. And Joe was the guy with the wife, so she was
That
like
he
in an
was in
open
an open
relationship,
relationship.
right? And so she did date Joe, but obviously that was just a bomb waiting to explode. Like, there was that other lawyer that Little Ro played. Um,
Oh yeah, I
so that
remember
was
him.
the nice lawyer that was pretty much on her level in terms of like career
Success and
wise,
everything.
but like probably physically it wasn't there, or just
It was that,
chemistry
right? That
was.
kiss. He was chubby, so she didn't like that, or what was it?
I mean, she didn't really say. She just wasn't like feeling him. Like you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like it wasn't like a. Like it's weird because her hesitance and her reason for like not diving in is never truly explained. It's not like there was ever an episode where she's just like, oh well, you know me, I don't know, Kyle cheated on me or something. Like you don't really ever
Mm.
hear about like a reason why she is so like guarded, or like my mom and dad never had anything good. You never hear of a reason why she is so guarded. Like you don't know if it's like something she experienced in like with her like mom and dad, or you don't know if she had like a bad relationship, or you just don't know why. Like you just know that she is guarded, and that's okay. But for me as a character, like it's been 4 seasons already, so it's just kind of like I'm not saying like you have to do the same thing over and over, but like currently with the person she's dating, take that leap already. Like just let's see how it goes, and then hopefully we can see like if she does fuck up, we could see like a longer, we could see how she fucks up when it's something real, as
That's
opposed
what
to
I'm
like
saying.
never.
On the what's happening right now with her, with the Asian guy, she should have established that, like, hey, like, I like you. Let's do more. Let's something more. Let's quote unquote go exclusive or something. When she felt bothered by that fact, I think if you feel bothered by that fact, that means that you actually like that person. So you should be like, hey, I like you. I would like for us to only date each other or whatever. And I think that would have made her feel better about things. Um, but instead she ran away from that situation. So she had the chance to evolve it into something more, but she stopped herself. She found an excuse to stop herself.
Well, the thing is that at the end she did text him saying like, "Hey, I like you. Like I was just like I think I know we're just playing, but I actually like you." So she
Yeah.
told him that. She texted him. So we haven't seen the response yet. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
that story is not that story arc is not over yet. So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe they become something, which would be nice. It's it's funny because oh shit, I just realized it. So Issa, I believe, wrote a book, or she commented on an article saying, or she wrote an article saying that like in like dating wise and like dating apps and stuff like that, black women and Asian men are the least like approached.
Oh. Huh.
So that's very funny that she actually. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't find that a coincidence that the person who thought that then has two characters be together that are essentially black and Asian.
Damn, that's crazy.
Um.
Yeah.
So
Wow. That's a good one.
yeah. So yeah, that's I just thought about it right now. I was like, wait, I'm yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me see where I can find it.
No, I know what you're talking
Um.
about. Yeah, we've talked about that before, about how dating apps kind of people don't, you know, like, not like, but not swipe right on Asian men or black women essentially.
Yeah. So I mean, I just find it very interesting that she wrote that. So I mean, it could be a spoiler, I guess, for a potential spoiler, because I mean, so I gotta hear
And
from
also, how often do you see Asian men with black women?
yeah. So check this. So this could be a spoiler for the show, but Newsweek article. Issa Rae's book said black women should marry Asian men. So I
Damn.
mean, who knows? Who knows what is gonna
How
happen?
long ago was that?
That article was in 2018,
Okay.
and I'm going to find out. Let me see.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be a spoiler alert. I mean, obviously, like people, writers and creative, they write what they know, and they sometimes pick things from their lives or things they want to see. Sometimes they have a narrative they want to push. I mean, for example, like Atlanta, there was an episode where I believe like the girls go to Drake's house or something, and Drake is supposed to be there, but he's not there.
Oh yeah,
And
it's that big ass party that's happening at Drake's house.
yeah, and I think one of the girls was she was a white girl, I believe, and they just talk about interracial dating, how like just because a white girl dates a black man doesn't mean she's a gold digger, or it doesn't mean that like if you're a black person, a black man doesn't mean you can still be black and pro black and still date outside your race. And you know Donald Glover is married to a white girl, so like it it's I don't find that like a coincidence that like your opinions or your ideas obviously are going to seep into your creative work, into your
Oh, for
writing.
sure. Yeah.
So, so I just find that very interesting that I just realized that she did have a in her book.
And
So
the people
let
who
me
don't know that Issa Rae is the creator and writer of the show, so
yeah.
that's huge. That's a good
So
one.
yeah, if you want, I can read you the part in the book that she
Yeah, go
writes.
for it.
So
Yeah, do it.
maybe that would make all the difference. Instead of Asian men, okay, Asian men is nearly the same as the black women, except for the fact that their women tend to marry white or other far more often. In fact, Asian Americans have the highest rate of intermarriage. Asian men your reputation sucks too. This is why I propose that black women and Asian men join forces in love, marriage, and procreation. Educated black women, um, educated black women, what better intellect match for you than an Asian man?
Hmm.
So
That's
yeah,
good, dude. That's a good one.
so she wrote that. So that could be, and at the end of the day, like Molly is a black intelligent woman. So the fact that she has that part in the book of like you know a black intelligent woman, what's not the best pairing for you than an Asian man? I mean, it kind of plays to a stereotype that Asians are highly intelligent, but still, like that's her opinion, that's her thought, and so only it's only coincidental that not coincidence, but it's only like obvious that she probably is trying to push that narrative, or at least showing her ideas come to fruition.
And also presenting something that you never see. Asian man with a black girl.
No, you're right. You're right. So yeah, you don't really see that.
So that's a good one, man. I that's a pretty good sleuthing you're doing there. So let's I like that. I like that. I hope she does end up with him though. Out of everyone she's dated, I think I've liked him the most. I think he
I mean,
is at her level.
I haven't. There really hasn't been much of him. I remember him being in season 3, but it wasn't. It wasn't really like that. I don't really remember his character really. And
I
in
just
this
like
episode,
I like his charisma. Like, he's not afraid of her. He's not afraid of being himself, um and I like that in a sense for her, because I think people are intimidated by her success at times, and what better person for you than someone who's not afraid of your success.
yeah, I agree. I think because the thing is for her, I feel like at this point she is so successful that like I don't think finances truly plays a factor in it. I think as long as you got your own and you can hold your own, you know, like you had your own place or you had a roommate or whatever, like you're doing your own thing, you're not like slumming it off. Like for definitely sure she can't date like bum Lawrence in season 1. You know, she
No.
could so like someone who has like their own. So, but I never saw her as someone who couldn't date, let's say, like a school teacher. Like you make your income. You know, I don't think finances is something that plays a factor in her decisions. I think for her it comes from like who can she be open with and vulnerable with, because she can't be open and vulnerable with anyone really.
Yeah,
So I mean,
that's true.
yeah, it's interesting because like
It's
Who
what she
knows,
liked
man?
about dating Dro, that
Yeah,
she was
exactly,
open and yeah,
exactly. It was different because Joe and her have been like best friends basically for years. So that's what essentially what she needs at the end of the day. So
yeah,
I think for the most part, like I don't know. Now that I am looking into this, now that I thought about that she wrote that in her book, and now these two characters they're being shipped together. I think that's their end game. You know,
yeah,
I think possibly that like um they might have their ups and downs, but they will be the Ross and Rachel of the show. That's how I see it now. Now that I have like that's my theory now. Now that I know this about Issa, and I remember her writing that article, and now these two characters, I'm for sure shipping them together. They are going to be the Ross and Rachel of the show. Or who knows, the Chandler and Monica, that they never break up and they're together forever. Fuck it.
yeah.
Um
That's a good one, though. I like that. I like the how you put that two and two together. Um, so what else do you like about the show? What else have you enjoyed from it?
I just like how authentic it feels. Like it has one of the set pieces was filmed in that the celebrity cemetery where they shoot movies.
Yeah,
I mean, no, shoot movies. They show
the the
movies.
the movies in the cemetery.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember Pedro used to do that when he lived in LA. That's a very LA thing to do. Um, I remember it was like a taco spot that was super local that was filmed there. It's just like LA. It's its own like character, like, and the fact that like even in this episode, like even in the season, basically the goal of the season is for her to throw a block party. Like she is clearly like engaged in her community. She's clearly aware of like the like like each pothole or line in the cement. Like she is about her community, about her people. So I just like the fact that like that shows like it's not a show that takes place in like this set or like a Hollywood studio set. Like it takes place in the open. You know,
Yeah.
like the apartments are real apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Stop by them and stuff like that. Like it just feels real as opposed to like
Manufactured.
yeah, like it's exactly as opposed to something like that we're used to, like a sitcom that's manufactured that like you
That's supposed to be in Miami, but filmed in LA.
know like Ballers or something. Yeah,
Yeah. And Dexter. Yeah,
right.
I do enjoy the authenticity of the show. I do enjoy the music also that comes with the show. I feel like they select music that flows well within the story, and it kind of sets the feel and the mood of an episode or in a scene or whatnot. Um, I just think it's just an overall very well polished show, and I'm glad that it's ongoing. So I'm glad we're bringing this up now because now we're leading into season 4, and the beginning problem that was set up essentially is that the girl that Lawrence is dating is working with Issa on that black party, and Issa just found out about it right at the midway end of the episode. So
Right.
how do you feel about that? Because people are telling her you should be weirded out about it, but she doesn't feel like she should be, or maybe is, and just trying to brush it off. What do you feel about that? Do you think it's awkward, weird? What is it? What do you think?
Um, I don't know. I think obviously it's been some time since they broke up. And they don't seem like they're in a bad place. Like Lawrence and Issa, like it doesn't seem like there's bad blood between them.
Nah.
Um, I mean, I guess it's awkward when you are in the same room with someone that you know has the same intimate encounter that you have with another person. But I don't know. I feel for the most part, like as long as they could, like at the end of the day, like not only is it a friendship, it's a business relationship. So especially one that she is more capable on this end,
Mm-hmm.
business wise. So it's not wise for Issa to end the friendship based on just the fact that like she's dating Lawrence, because business wise like you need her. So, and I'm trying to not be like conniving or anything. It's just that's just the optics of it. Like she has more connection.
Yeah,
She's a
that's what
better
her job is all about. Is make She's
exactly.
in the PR business, so she's gonna have those connections. She's gonna have all of that that comes with it.
Yeah.
So it's
So
inevitable that she'll be better at networking than Issa, who's never done it in her life.
yeah. So Issa needs her at the end of the day. Like yeah, she can possibly seek another PR, but for someone you already worked well with and you have a good relationship with, it's important that it's not really at this point. It's not even a because Issa is the one that has everything to lose.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the other girl, Camille, I believe her name was.
Yeah, something
Um,
like that.
it's about her. It's about can you are you okay with the fact that like you're working with this person who essentially who slept with your man essentially, you know?
I I feel I think it would have mattered if if they knew each other already and they knew the relationship. But I feel like it's just a stranger at this point, and I think they should maybe not be tight or whatever. I think they should just be focused on the business aspect of it all, and then um, after that business encounter is over, they should just kind of just go their separate ways. Um, but I feel that I think if they would have known each other, if I think it would have been more tough for the whole thing to maneuver. Other than that, I think they should just focus on what they need to do and then just go their separate ways.
Oh, so her name is Conandola. Conandola. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know if like it just depends, man. Honestly, like I guess it just depends. Like like you said, go your separate ways. But if you guys can have a meaningful relationship, and if the block party's success, like and open it can open more doors for more business opportunities. So I just feel that like what's what's the point what's the point of doing that? What's the point of yeah? So yeah, I mean, if they can maintain a business relationship, especially if the block party is a success, I don't see why not. I don't see why they should end their friendship. They both seem to like each other very much, so yeah, it is weird. I don't know how I would feel if I guess I was friends with somebody and then I realized their ex. I wouldn't know how to go by it.
Yeah,
Um,
it is. I think it is tough because realizing that. But like you said, if you could overcome it, fine. That's even better. But if you can't, just do your business relationship and complete the transaction and then just end it. I don't think they need to focus too much on the other shit. You just do your job and get out.
yeah,
But it seems that it could potentially get smoothed over, but I think everybody else in her life will have a problem with it more than she would.
right. As we saw already with Molly, who had a problem with it, and it's weird for Molly to. I feel like it's kind of hypocritical for Molly to be like, "Oh, you love drama," or like you're being messy, or like, "Yo, Molly, your whole dating life is messy." Like,
And specifically, you dating a married person.
right. So like, I found that like her criticism invalid. Like, I was just like, who are you to be telling someone that like logically, like like I said, logically, like Issa has everything to lose. Like she needs Condola and for business reasons. Forget the friendship. She needs her in terms of like a business like prospect. So who are you to be like, oh, you're being messy when you dated a married person? You like you never let anyone get too close, and like you're literally fucking up a relationship right before you even began. Like at that moment. So it's just like it's
Yeah.
I found it very very like hypocritical for her to say something like that. I didn't think it. I don't know if it didn't mesh with me in terms of a character. I just thought that when she said that, I'm just like, hold up, like check yourself because you're literally all a mess when it comes to relationships. So,
Yeah, it's true.
but I mean, I I think for the most part, I feel that Issa could navigate the waters of that. I feel it's Lawrence and Condola that are going to have a problem with it.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Maybe like I feel like
Because I don't think he cares about her anyways.
no, I don't. I don't. I think for the most part, Lawrence moved on, and Lawrence is the one who, at the end of the day, like I think he's cool with Issa. Like he doesn't have a problem with her, obviously, but I think at the end of the day, like he's the one that like still carries that like pain and that like regret of the relationship. But I feel like I don't know. I guess I don't know if Condola's gonna bring up like yo like what happened between y'all. Like I obviously like Issa's and Lawrence's relationship. It has to be discussed within their relationship because at the end of the day, like she might want to feel secure. Like yo, are we good? You know, are we gonna be together? Even though like at the last episode, like he's like, oh, we'll be good, and they just started making out. Like I feel like at the end of the day, like that's not really like okay, this conversation's over, you know? Like, feel like that's they're gonna do a dive on that, like, or you know, who knows?
It's gonna be an evolving conversation.
Yeah, who knows? It could be like a simple conversation, like what happened and yada yada. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like they're gonna have that discussion. Like, you don't date someone for 5 years and then it's over and you don't talk about it, you know? When you date someone for that long, people are gonna ask questions. Like that's just a natural thing. Like especially when they know the other person. Like sometimes they might be afraid. Like, oh, do I need to be worried about this person? You know, especially for Condola, she has to work with Issa. So the fact that like you have a relationship with this girl, like, do I need to worry because I work with her? So like, if you guys are gonna be a thing or something, that conversation might come up. You know. So, yeah, like, especially with them, since they have so much history, you just don't. Yeah, we dated for 5 years and we broke up. You don't say that, and then things are left. You know, like okay, like usually someone takes a deep dive, like, yo, what happened? But like especially in Condola's case, she doesn't have to know, but it would be nice for her though because she has to deal with Issa as a business partner.
Yeah, at some point that conversation is gonna come up, and we're gonna be, privy to that. But other than that, how did you like the episode of season 4, episode 1?
I liked that. I thought it was good. I really, I liked the they're having the block party. Like her
her tenants.
Yeah, her tenant was like checking out her brother, and he's like, oh. He fine though. She's like, yeah, but he's gay. Like, he ain't that gay. Like, and then she was just like,
my kid's father's gay.
and and then she was just like, which dress? This dress for ass or this dress for titties? And he walks back. He's just like, the titty dress. And then she's just like, see, every man likes titties. Like, it was pretty funny.
I think the funniest one was the other tenant where he's like, where I'm gonna park. And she's like, you could take my spot. And he's like, wait, whose car do you like? Do you have a car? He's like, no. I was just like, that was so good. I was just like, wait, why the fuck are you asking about that?
It's funny because
that was hilarious.
Because her her speech at the end, her rally with me and my friends and join me on this quest speech she had. I felt like it was not like kind of like not that moving to be like, oh yeah, let's just all sign, you know, like I felt like the
Yeah.
party like seemed like not well planned and it showed. So the fact that she pulled it off was very like impressive.
Yeah, it's that show magic, that character's quest has to continue. It can't end just that easily. Um, but I think I was better off with her pulling it off than with it failing and then having her the entire season scrambling to make it happen. I think that would have just presented like a drama for the sake of drama. I think. Um, and I think her move, her speech, it wasn't that great, but what I enjoyed about it was the fact that it's essentially saying, hey, I want to do this for the community. I want to do this to highlight the community. I want to do this to highlight the people in the community and the people who make it. And I think that's a very moving sentiment, because if you have a community that's changing so drastically, like for example, Little Haiti, or in our example, right, in our own community, Little Haiti and Wynwood, who has drastically changed to what it wasn't, and how artwork doesn't exist anymore. How artwork, it was kind of essentially was an event for that community, for that Wynwood community, and it got turned into something different. And essentially, maybe that's what she's trying to do. Of like, our community is changing. I want to do something that highlights the people in it before it's over, before it changes into something that isn't, right?
Right.
And I think that's a noble cause, and I felt that what she was portraying in her speech.
No, no.
Yeah, it wasn't that great, but that essentially what she was saying, and that, I think if you're in that community, you notice that, and that probably would galvanize you and move you to participate. At least even if it's just this one time, because the community is gonna be there and it's gonna be behind you and stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's really right. I think that was the driving force, especially like I said, like LA is a character, so she does her best to represent LA and to show LA. And I guess the block party is just another one of those statements that she puts in the show. That like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let my city like fall. I mean, at the end of the day, like, she's still Hollywood, but you know what I'm saying, she still wants to showcase like the city for what the city is, which is still like pretty moving, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. Many last thoughts, Orlando, before we wrap this up?
No, I think we covered most of it. Um,
What do you think the season's gonna go from here? What are your predictions for the season?
so I'm pushing the Molly and Agent Dude. I'm pushing them together. I feel like Lawrence and Condola are not gonna last. I don't think they're gonna overcome the fact that like he dated Issa. I think Issa will be okay with it. I just think that them as a relationship, they won't. There's just gonna be an issue. Um. So yeah.
Do you think that preview at the opening of the season was how the event failed, and how it couldn't overcome whatever?
I don't. I'm not. I'm not.
happening?
I don't remember the preview. What was the preview?
No, at the opening, the very first opening sequence of the show, where Issa was on the phone, and then it goes to 4 months before the event.
I mean, they talked about how like she wasn't talking to Molly no more. So something happened between her and Molly. Obviously, we see that in the first episode where.
And the event also, because the event was all dark.
It could have been that it was just over, and then maybe maybe just because Molly wasn't there, she was upset, or maybe something happened at the event, and so then she's like, "Oh, I'm done with this chick." So it could. I think the event went off with a hitch. I think something is going on between them two that there's a fallout between them two within the season. I'm not sure how, but it could be how hypocritical Molly is in the relationship, and maybe I may who knows, man. My guess is that Molly tries to fuck up her and the Asian guy, her relationship with the Asian guy. Issa tells her to stop being stupid. Maybe they have an argument and they have a fallout. That's my prediction.
I don't think the follow will be on the Asian guy. I think it'll be more of Molly being jealous of her new relationship with Condola, and I think that's where the divide happens. And I think maybe she was potentially trying to ruin that relationship Issa had with Condola because she's like, "Oh, you're replacing me for this girl who is dating your ex man or whatever." And I think that's where if there's a fallout, it will be because of that, not because of the Asian guy.
That's interesting because I didn't see it that way, but I guess it could make sense of like, I never, well, I guess I never saw Molly as that kind of a vindictive character. And I guess because they have other friends, but none of the friends are as close as Molly and her. So yeah. I guess it does. It would make sense if Molly senses like a destruction of a disturbance within like their friendship, which is Condola, and she's like, "Oh, let me drift you guys apart." So as a character who tends to fuck up relationships, especially romantic ones, I could kind of see what you're saying of her being like, "Oh shit, I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose Issa to this girl, so let me tell her she's being messy when hypocritically I'm messy." It's just I'm just saying that so they could like not be together. That makes sense. Honestly, I never thought of it that way, and that makes sense as a character. Like if like I said, like her judging Issa, I found it very hypocritical, and I didn't think it meshed well with her character.
Yeah.
But
no, for sure.
But her saying that to be vindictive, to be like protective of her friend because she wants to keep her friend as is, I can see that more.
Yeah.
So you're right.
I think so too.
I mean, it
could go anywhere though.
It could, and I guess with that in mind, like, then
it could also be like you said that Molly didn't show up to the event and Issa needed her in that moment, and she wasn't there to support her, and that's what could be also another fallout between them. That it's just these little things, these micro moments that have happened between them throughout the season, and in the end, it culminates in her being like, "You know what?" Molly saying "fuck Issa," and then the relationship kind of ends there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm pushing. I think Condola and her are gonna still be friends. Most side characters in Insecure don't last. Like,
no,
most of the men in Insecure don't last. Most of the women in Insecure don't last.
Except Lawrence, man, my dude.
I mean, because Lawrence is the main character. So, but all of Lawrence is like even his friend that he had. I forgot his name.
Yeah, they come and
go. So it would be a big change for them to add a central reoccurring character to the cast. So that would be kind of interesting. Obviously, she's gonna be a character in season 4 throughout the season, but to have her to be in maybe potential season, that'd be very interesting because not many characters last on the show. And the if it's not Lawrence, Molly, or Issa, it's the 2 other girls, and they come in like sporadically every couple episodes.
They always come and go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how that plays out.
For sure.
I never asked you, how would you feel the dating thing wise? Would you, let's say you became friends with someone and then you didn't know that you were dating a girl?
I think it, again, like as all weird things that happen in someone's life, I'll be pretty stranged out about it. But again, it's a stranger, it's not someone that I know or that I've known or who has history with me in my previous relationship or whatever, who's privy to that, we'll say. It's just a stranger who comes in and that I just so happen to meet, and then small world, small universe, they're happening to date my ex. There's those are very small chances of that happening, but it could happen. I think because it's a stranger, I don't think I'll be stranged out about it because it's someone that I don't know. Like, oh, damn, that's a small world type of thing. And like, oh crap, oh, I'd be weirded out at first, but then I'd be like, if this person is cool and they're a great person, why wouldn't I want my ex to be happy?
Well, it's not that. It's about would you be friends with them? Could that?
Who knows? I don't know.
That's the dilemma that Issa faces. It's not like she's trying to break them up. It's just like, okay, should I continue?
No, I know she's not trying to break him up. I'm just saying of the relationship. It's just like, it's, I like, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't know. I think I'm not trying. I'm not saying that they're breaking up. I'm like, this person's cool. Those people are cool. They should be. They'll be awesome together. But I think I would. Maybe I wouldn't involve myself too much. I wouldn't hang out with them together, or stuff like that. I'd be just like, we'll hang out every once in a while.
Right.
We'll
I think for the most part, when it comes to stuff like that, I feel like
I don't think it'll be like
I wouldn't mind.
Guest starring.
I wouldn't mind either or if someone dated my ex and then a friend of mine who I recently became friends with dated my ex and I just found out randomly and they didn't know, I didn't know. I wouldn't mind that as long as we keep it like, I guess, unspoken rule of like, don't talk to me about my ex. Like, let's not swap stories or anything, and then don't bring me around you guys together. And that's it. Like, that's all I ask for, and then we can keep it like, chill. We can chill, and then and if I dated somebody's ex and I became friends with them, like, that's not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep fucking your ex, and if you want to keep fucking with me, that's on you. Like, I think that I leave that on to the other person. Like, I'm not gonna comes to that, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm gonna date your ex and also see you later, I can't be friends with you. It's it's not that it's a mean thing to do. It's just I'm not gonna be the one doing it. I don't mind the scenario I'm in. It's you who might mind it. Right, so. Right.
Yeah. But you're the type of person who doesn't mind much things, so it's you're a different person, a unique person in that sense. Because a lot of people do mind a lot of things. Especially when it comes to exes and whatnot. But yeah. Well, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about Insecure that we've never done before, but given that we're in quarantine time and season 4 just started, might as well keep it week to week, and let's see how this season goes. Let us know your thoughts on Insecure. Do you agree with what we said? Or what are your thoughts about the characters and the show and how is it progressed?
Later, guys.
Let us know. We're on social media, and of course we do have an email. So same as always. Till next time.